Now, the biggest problem you have with this, as I said, is that there's no way to tell. There's nobody keeping track. You're not ticking the boxes. How much use is now on your vehicle? You're just straight up defrauding everybody. So there's situations in life where you need money and you don't have it, right? But you really need something, like really need it, or you maybe just really want it, and you end up borrowing money at any expense, thinking you'll pay it back as long as things go according to plan, and rarely does life go according to plan. Then you find yourself staring at a bunch of high interest rate debt, and it's almost impossible to get out from under that because you still have to live your life, and you're not falling behind on anything, but you're not getting ahead. And luckily, that's where today's video sponsor, Upstart, is here to help. Upstart is the fast and easy way to pay off your debt with a personal loan all online. Whether it's paying off credit cards, consolidating high-interest debt, or funding personal expenses, over 1 million people have used Upstart to get one fixed monthly payment with a clear payoff date. Rather than look at credit score alone, Upstart considers other factors like your income, current employment, and credit history to find you a smarter rate for your loan. You can check your rate without impacting your credit score in minutes for loans between $1,000 to $50,000. You can even receive funds as fast as 1 business day after accepting your loan. So to find out how Upstart can help lower your monthly payments, visit upstart.com/SSR. Loan amounts are going to be based on your credit, income, and other factors that you put in your application, so be honest with that. It's upstart.com/SSR. I put a link right below in the description. All right, what's up everybody? Rob Ferretti here, and you may or may not have seen the video I made the other day about the guy rolling back the Huracan, or at least installing a device in the Huracan to tamper with the mileage and using it as a selling point to sell the car, as a Lamborghini installed mileage stopper. He has the mileage as 11,799. But is it really? No, we don't know. As you start looking through the mods list here, SuperKilometerFilter allows you to turn off and on the odometer. Mileage in the listing is real and accurate mileage on the car. Installed by Lamborghini. See notes below. And that got me wondering, and I started looking more into this, because I always thought that like maybe half of exotic cars are rolled back. Now I look and I feel like every exotic car is rolled back. Like I'm the only guy not doing it. It's very annoying. And I know that's not the case, but I do know that a lot of people that are watching my video have done this or have done something like this. Now, I looked up this SuperKilometerFilter website, right? Because that's what the guy was advertising was in his car. And my mind was blown, right? I start looking up like, oh, like there's a very, I was looking up odometer stoppers. I was like, odometer rollback is what I typed in. And you get some articles like, oh, here's how easy it is to roll back an odometer. And it shows this video of a mechanic rolling back an odometer.
According to Carfax, odometer fraud is up 26% here in Detroit from 2019. And it's as easy as turning to eBay.
And it's pretty readily available. I believe I paid a little over $200 for this tool.
We got a first-hand look from a repair shop on just how easy it is to adjust the odometer to a lower readout.
There you go.
That simple adjustment brought the 2007 Chevy Silverado from a $14,000 purchase to a $22,000 purchase.
Or I'm out there and I see this news article, 500,000 cars a year have their odometers rolled back, or at least are misrepresenting their mileage. And I was like, wow. Like, and then you start seeing like the SuperKilometerFilter company, which is the worst of the worst. Because like if you roll back an odometer, right, you at least something was counting. Something knows, like somebody, even if you're misrepresenting it, you know how many miles were on it. For the guy that just turns it on and off willy-nilly, you have no idea what the odometer is. You have no idea how many miles are on the car. You can't represent it to anybody. And now there's all sorts of tricks to how to try to spot a car that's odometer is rolled back or something, but everybody loves to have the benefit of the doubt, right? Like, oh, maybe it's just in really great shape for a 50,000 mile car when it really has 150,000 miles on it. The problem you run into, and the problem, and why all of this is so wrong, is that these cars the reason the value goes down over time is because you start requiring maintenance, and the more wear and tear you put on a mechanical item, the closer it is to exhausting its useful lifespan and needing to be replaced. right? That's why the value of a car goes down with the more mileage you put on it. Not because it's like, well, I just want to see a lower number, not because, none of that. So the fact that you're not disclosing this may make it, or does make it even worse for the next guy or the guy after that or the following guy to not get screwed because he didn't do his scheduled services the way he's supposed to. Now, I've brought it up. Rental companies coming in and getting their tires changed on their Uruses with 1,200 miles on it. Nobody needs tires at 1,200. Nobody. I like, even if you're running, except a track-only like Lamborghini demo car, you don't need tires at 1,200 miles. I'm sorry. I don't care what you're doing, how you're driving, what you're driving. You don't need 4 tires at 1,200 miles. So all you're doing is a disservice to everybody else. And as I said, the difference between the odometer rollback, which at least has some form of questionable legality, right? It's the reason it can exist is because, all right, somebody had different size wheels on the car. Maybe they were this big instead of this big, or maybe they were this big instead of this big. Maybe the odometer went bad. There's a reason that you could reset and a process and a procedure to reset, adjust the odometer, put the reason for it, and disclose it to the next person. With the super kilometer filter, there is no rationale for that. Like, you try to look at their website and it's like, it's usual. Oh, off-road use only designed for testing. If you're just, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. You're dyno testing your car. You're still using it, right? There's no way around this. You're either using an asset, in which case it is monitoring the use, or you're not. Same thing if you have a forklift. You can't be like, well, we just used it in the warehouse. We didn't use it over there, so that doesn't really count. So none of that count. You can't say I just used it for, if you I was driving children to give them a Make-A-Wish experience. Still got to count it. Like, that doesn't matter. As noble as the deed, it still counts. It is still use. Whether you're driving it slow, whether you're driving it fast, that all averages out. At the end of the day, you have to be able to record what the car is being used for, or what any asset, any machinery is being used for. If you're selling a piece of business equipment and it's got 11,000 hours on it, you have to represent that. You can't be like, oh, it's only got 11 hours on it. Really, 11 hours after 20 years of being in business? Yeah, we barely turned the thing on. That's fraud. And all you're doing is screwing the next guy. Now, I'm looking at this super kilometer filter website, which, again, I know some of you are going to run out and buy this. That's not my intent here, because this is not giving you a way to defraud. This is trying to help people, make people aware that it exists so they can look out for it. Now, if you're looking at this website, they've gone through the R&D to develop it for like the SP1 and SP2 Monza, the Ferrari, these $3 million Ferraris. That means somebody's buying that. And that's what is mind-boggling. Like, you look at, just, I looked at Ferrari, Lamborghini. All the Ferrari Lamborghinis, all the new Superleggeras, they show you the install video. So clearly there's people putting it on their cars. And now you start to think of like, oh yeah, my neighbor drives his Lambo all the time. And you don't think about it. And then you're like, oh, no wonder these people do it, because they're not dealing with the biggest consequence of daily driving these things, or driving them all over the place, is that they're going to be looking at giant depreciation. There's no depreciation if you sell it with 4,000 miles on it. That sucks. I don't trust so many cars now. And it's the cars pre-2010 you could roll back. The cars after 2010, who the hell knows? Now, this will phase out, right? When you have the Teslas and the other GPS-based tracking in all the vehicles. The Chevy Bolt had the same thing, that they're like, you can't hack GM's mainframe and go out of their way. Now, the news story was like 500,000 cars a year are being sold with this. It's got to be so exotic and sports car heavy, because who's going out there, like a rollback? It's like, oh, I went over my mileage on my lease. Let me just kick it back 10,000 miles. That's one thing. That's when you do like the rollback. That's why that's different than what's taking place here with the super kilometer filter. With the super kilometer filter, you're legitimately going out and it's a TMU. It's no idea how many miles are on this thing. The reason this all ties in to the fact that it's very exotic heavy is nobody's getting into their Kia Optima and going through the trouble of like pausing the mileage in their Kia Optima. They do it after the fact, because they're like, oh, wow, this is my leased vehicle. If I don't roll it back, it's going to cost me $3,000. If I do roll it back, it's only $300, like, or whatever it costs. So that is one thing. Nobody's going in their like Ford Transit van and pushing buttons and making it so that they stop the odometer every third trip or something like that. That's nonsense. And then they lose track of oil changes and something may go wrong with the car, especially if it's now out of warranty. This is purely designed for exotic cars. They make it for all these different cars. If you look at their website, they've got every make and model effectively. But it's really where the exotics come into play, that they even charge more. Like the Ferraris are charging like $3,500 to do it. But if a guy's spending $3 million in his car and it never has any use, he can always sell it as a collector car. So much BS here, and it's very frustrating. So what do you do now? Like, you know these exist. How do you protect yourself? How does a dealer protect yourself? Because this isn't just defrauding the buyer. This is defrauding every single manufacturer that they're plugging these things into, because it's warranty fraud. Because now you're going to go in and you'll be like, oh, my transmission went because you didn't service the damn thing. And it's at 4,000 miles and my trans went. And they're going to look and they're like, all right, the trans went. Then you're like, well, the Lambos, they've got different computers that you can always go around and sneak it in and see like, oh, this computer reads this and the odometer reads that. They've got transmission blockers, so you can fully defraud everybody. Like, this is so intentional. To now go and try to claim that this is designed for off-road use is straight hogwash. So the only reason, the only thing you can do to make this go away, right? Because imagine like a dealer finds out about it. They'll just void your warranty. But after 3 years, there's no warranty anyway. So now you just sell the car. They're not like going to the cops. The best thing you could do is if you go to the cops and the guy gets arrested, but then you now get all these people getting lawyers and say, look, I didn't put it in there. I'm the second owner. The other guy must have put it in there. I didn't even know it existed. The only thing you can do to legislate this would be to make the possession of said device illegal. Like illegal felony offense to have the device. Not even that it wasn't plugged in. Like just having ownership of it, ordering it. It's like, how could you do something like that? It's, well, you can, right? Like you're not allowed to own a counterfeiting machine. Oh, yeah. No, we can make counterfeit money, but we don't use it. We just use it in the house internally. Nope. We use it for when we make fake movies. Nope. There is no legal reason to own, or no legality that allows you to own a counterfeiting machine. That's all you're doing now, is you're counterfeiting the mileage on your cars. That's what SuperKilometerFilter is. So I don't know if a government can step in and shut down the company, because there's literally like it's selling a ghost gun. A ghost gun company is going to get shut down because there's no legal reason to own something like that. There is no justification. As I said, you get the gray area with the rollback devices, or at least the rollback stuff, because you can come up with a reason. But pausing your mileage in and out at your whim is not, there is no justification on the planet. The fact that this company exists, and yes, I'm sure somebody from the company is going to see this, you shouldn't exist, you're fraudulent, you're making money doing this, and you're helping other people be fraudulent, and I don't know how you're justifying it to yourself that it's cool, but I guess there's people that sell drugs too. So like, I guess at the end of the day, and they probably have cars that they don't report the odometers on. So all of this comes full circle. This company shouldn't exist. The company should be shut down. The technology will always exist, right? But there's different for the guy going in and like hacking his own car and doing it versus somebody just selling it to you for $1,000 online. That guy should be shut down. That's like stopping the drug dealer and not necessarily the guy with the pot plant in the back of his yard. Rob Ferretti, thank you for watching. I can put a link in the description. I don't have to. You're going to look it up anyway. SuperKilometerFilter. There's no justification for it. It's fraudulent. It's very difficult to try to find your way around and find a car that has this device done to it. You can go into a car and push all the buttons because you go on their website. It'll tell you, for the Escalade, you push this button 4 times. For this one, you push this button 4 times. For this one, you do this to turn it on and off. It's nonsense. Like they've got everything, and they make it so you can turn this into an art form, that you can go out and defraud people with their product, and that shouldn't exist. So I don't know. I can't do anything about it. You can go choose to buy one. You go knock yourself out. I probably made them a ton of money by making this video, but I do have to make everyone aware that it exists. I didn't even know it existed. I knew there was like odometer blockers, but I didn't know it was like so easy. And I don't know. It's BS. Like maybe just everybody should do it. Maybe just get rid of odometers altogether, right? Why even record how much use is on a car? Just drive it till it breaks and then go to the shop and fix it, right? Why warranty? Why manufacturers should warranty them forever? Think of how ludicrous all this sounds. But that's what you're doing. You're turning virtually, just say 50, 75% of exotic cars into TMUs. You have no idea how many miles are on them. Who wants to buy that? Luckily, that's why I've been buying new lately, but like all the cars that I want to buy, the 2010, the 458s and everything, I'm not going to be able to trust them. And that sucks. Rob Ferretti, thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.